Welcome to Weld.com. Let's talk about roots. Let's do some roots. Roots. Got an Everlast 250EX AC/DC stick and TIG machines. Got some cool features to it. I want to do some TIG roots here, and I want to get into different fits. I'm going to try to keep a couple things constant. I am going to vary the amperage when I get into this, and I am going to use a 1/8" wire. I had a friend of mine, one of my best friends, an anesthesiologist, and we were joking around one time, and I said something about the surgeon and the anesthesiologist getting along, and he goes, a good surgeon needs a good anesthesiologist, and a bad surgeon requires one. And kind of same thing goes with welding and TIG welding. A good welder deserves a good fitter, and a bad welder really needs a good fitter. You know, it's one of those deals. So you're going to run into different situations where you're going to have to weld what you got, you know. And some of it becomes a little bit impossible. Let's just say that whatever we're doing, we can't get to the back side. We have to weld it from one side only, naming pipe. Now we're showing you on plate because it's much easier to film. Same thing, it's the same process, same concept, same bevel, same everything. So I have my favorite fit here, 1/8" wire, 532 root opening. This may shrink just a little bit, but it is a very loose 1/8". Let's just call it 5/32. Very confident with that. Give me an 1/8" wire, you give me a machine, a lot of times I can just nail the amperage and just put it in there and fly. Let's go to this rascal right here. Good heavy 5/16. This 1/8" wire is just swimming in here. That's wide. Is it doable? Yeah. Probably gonna have to reduce the amperage quite a bit, and I'm probably gonna have to do a technique where as I go back and forth to lace this up, I'm gonna have to chase the arc with the wire. I'm gonna have to keep the two of them together, or even add on the sides or something. I don't know. I just have to get into it. They all kind of weld a little bit different. We'll try it. I hate it. Here's another one I hate right here for TIG root. And I have some students that'll do this. You know, I tell them you got to put gap in there in order to get penetration. It's like 1/16. No way that we're going to get this in here. You know, at best. And I don't care if I max the machine out, I don't think that I'm going to be able to, you know, blast this in there with any kind of confidence. At best, I'm going to have to add wire, wash it around quite a bit, and push on the wire while it's in the pool and kind of create this sunken keyhole effect or whatever. I don't like this, you know. I don't know what's going on the backside. I can't watch the edges right where it's supposed to penetrate. I hate it, you know. Call me weird, but I hate it. So, but I see it happen all the time. And then there's sometimes in production that, you know, I used to build a lot of boilers and stuff, and we shipped them all over the world, and they were a strict ASME code, and the Hartford Insurance Company was the inspectors on them. And things had to be right, you know, and if we had a final fit up or something that we were doing that came down to this and it was just super tight, you either took the material apart and re-prepped it where you could calculate a gap, or you started doing some grinding techniques where you shaved into this and re-beveled it as you're going into it and make sure you remove the burrs on the backside. You know, sometimes it got a little wild, so. Let me get my hood on, and we'll come back and we'll play with some roots here. I'm going to do the good fit first. Probably do about half of it. I'll do about a quarter to half of the real wide one, and then the last one we'll get into is this real tight one, and we'll see what happens. I don't expect to get into this one with any kind of good result. That one over there may accidentally come out. So let me get my hood on, I'll be right back. I freehanded off the bottom of this. I'm gonna rest this on the back side. I'm holding my thumb against the plate back here, kind of the same way I do on pipe. On pipe, I'll rest the wire against one of my tacks up in the top 1/3 of the quadrant on the top of the pipe, and I'll feed it kind of from the inside for my just production weld when I'm standing over the top of it. For this, I'm right here so you guys can see it. So I want to restart my bead. I want to move right up here. I'm going to get the leading edge of that melted. I'm trying to hold this wire just on the very back side of the plate, way down deep in the groove. If you'll notice, when I terminated this weld, I pulled this over to the side. It's just a habit of mine, I pull over into the bevel face onto some mass before I terminate. If I just stopped, I'd probably draw that piping porosity down into the root. Don't want to do that. I had a little trouble right here where I kind of got stuck with the wire, and I left a little bump back here on the back side because of it. But if you can see this, I have reinforcement. Got a little glass showing. I don't have any undercut. Gee whiz, my freehand part looked better than my walking the cup part. There's the initial transition right there. This blended together. I did all right, and then I kind of got weird right here and got a little heat. It's all good. I've seen worse roots than that. Pass 100% X-ray, so we're good to go. Next thing I'm going to do is grab this one over here that I need a piece of rebar to shove in it. Need a piece of 1/4 inch cold rope to put in it. Whoo, that's wide gap. That's wide gap, wide gap. Same wire, 1/8 inch wire. I could go to a bigger wire, but I'm trying to prove a point here. Let me do a little bit, and I will go grab a 5/32 wire. I don't think it's going to help that much, but oh, make me accurate, please, please. Chasing this wire, or chasing the arc back and forth with the wire. Really trying to regulate that heat. Amperage on the foot control. Now I'm doing a little pulse, pedal pulse thing here, where I'm increasing the amperage when I get to the side, adding wire, decreasing it as I go across the center. One of the benefits of welding with a pedal. That was all freehand. I don't like the color of it. I'm going to go get a piece of 532 wire. I'll be right back.
I've done two things here. I switched to a larger cup so that I could get onto the bevel and kind of walk it. That'll help me some. I've also switched to a 5/32 wire. Those of you that are really paying attention here, alright, let me see if I can get this going again. If you were watching that a second ago, it looked like I was getting pulled over by the highway patrol, and I had my wrist laying right on the corner of the stand here, and when I do that, it's like I shake uncontrollably. It's like I hit a nerve point. That was funny, by the way. So the bigger wire helps somewhat. I'm able to speed up some. It looks like I'm getting better color, but I'm still not confident with what I'm leaving on the back side here. Pretty wide open gap. I was able to make way better time. And let's see what we have here. Pretty dark, pretty crusty, pretty bumpy. It does look like I have my edges are burnt in. I don't have uncontrollable amounts of reinforcement. It's not excessive, let me tell you that, but it's, you know. Got a couple of spots in here right on the edge that might make for a questionable x-ray if I had to shoot that. So, you know, could I practice it at this? Could I force myself to weld 1/4 and 5/16 bevels and get really good at it? Yeah. Do I want to? No. I'd rather fit my material up better. But you know, if I had to do this a lot, you know, I'd spend some time and learn it better, more. I've never had to. I've always kind of been my own fitter, I should say, and done it pretty good. So now, next thing I want to get into is the real tight gap, the 1/16. Real tight gap. The 1/8 inch wire is, you know, it looks, oh, I'm sorry, that was the 5/32. Here's the 1/8 inch wire. It's big, it's not even going to get close. So again, I'm going to start out and I'm going to try to do this keyhole thing. I'm going to try to push some wire. I'm going to go get a piece of 3/32. I'm also going to get a piece of 1/16. Okay? I still don't think I'm going to be able to get in here. It's just the nature of TIG welding. You're not able to force things and drive them in there. This is not like stick welding where you add more pressure and more amperage and push it in there, okay? Yeah, let me go get a couple different pieces of filler wire before we get started. A minute ago I had a number 8 cup on here for that jumbo ginormous gap we had, and now I switched back over to number 5 because I got to get in here. Okay, I just free-handed that off the bottom, and I'm flying because I'm adding the material in there. It's way out in front. I'm not down inside where my bevel root face is. Now I'm going to switch over to a 3/32 wire. A comparison of 1/8 inch wire and 3/32. You know, a while ago I was regulating the heat and I was way off of it. I'm at 170 amps. I had this thing floored. You know, Let's go to 250. What's 80 amps amongst friends, you know? I'm still not going to be able to drive it in there. Okay, now I'm at 250 amps and I'm pushing this in there. Now I'm pausing, washing, pushing. I'm doing everything possible to get this thing to go, and I just don't. Now I've switched over to a 1/16 wire. About the only thing that I've got going for me here is that it's a wetter pool, and I just feel like I'm just, oh goodness sakes, there's a classic dip for you. There, let me go sharpen up. All right, here we go. Now, that old classic dip there a minute ago. I'm shoving so much wire in here. Kind of got frisky. Got a 1/16 wire. Got this machine pretty well maxed out, it feels like, on the foot pedal. And I'm shoving about 1/4 to 3/8 wire at a time, maybe half. Can't even create the keyhole. All right, let's take a look at this. I got nothing. I didn't expect to have anything. Don't have any gap. Not going to get through there. Not with amperage, not with smaller wires. It's just, you know, it's not going to happen. So I personally have not seen it. I haven't been successful with it, with TIG welding. I've been into some scenarios that just require another material fit. The wide open gap, it's possible. Doesn't look the best. If that's what you got, that's what you got. But when they're slammed shut like this, the other thing is they're just going to keep getting tighter. They're going to slam themselves shut. I hope that helps and gives you an explanation as to how to fit things up. Again, the first one we started out with, I think it was a 5/32 gap with the 1/8 inch wire. That's my personal preference. A lot of guys that I've worked with over the years, they love that 332 wire. I don't know why. To me, I mean, I worked alongside of them, and that's all they had was 332, and it's like you're just sitting here doing this constantly, feeding wire, left, right-handed. And I brought in some 1/8 inch wire one time, and they were watching me weld, and they're going, wow, you don't have to feed that at all, hardly. It's amazing. 1/32 of a wire, it's a big difference. I'll lay these wire sizes out, let the camera guy get over here. I'll lay them out against my glove or something and let him get all these, show them side by side, left to right, 1/16, 332, 1/8, and 5/32. You know, they, not much difference diameter wise, but I mean, to look at them, they just look noticeably way bigger. So learn to weld with all of them, but don't give yourself a slam shut fit like that if you're trying to make quality TIG welds. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching the videos. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Bob Moffatt with Cali College, Weld.com. Thank you very much.